groovy.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Jim here with another handful of import Super Famicom recommendations. And why Super Famicom again, you might ask? Well, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, just about the easiest system in the world to mod. Essentially, if you have a Super Nintendo, you've got a region-free system, so it's a very importable system to collect for, or it has a high level of importability. I don't know if either of those words are really applicable, or if they even make any sense, or if they even exist, but that's what I'm going with. Super Nintendo, high level of importability. So we've got some more really excellent import Super Famicom games here, so let's get started with this one right on top. I just recently picked this one up, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. This is Cosmo Gang, the video. This is a Namco developed and published game, and it's a recent acquisition for me, and one that I've been really enjoying. Basically, it's a 16-bit shoot-'em-up version of Galaxian or Galaga. So if you like those classic Namco arcade shooters, then you should like this game too, though it is updated to feature more variety than those old school shooters. So there are more power-ups available to you, there are more enemy types and more enemy patterns, and in between certain stages there are also bonus games that all have different objectives to win. So despite that it's a game with a very simple gameplay premise, there's actually a lot of variety here, which is really appreciated. Also, just all around great design as well. Very good graphics, very colorful, vibrant looking game. I like the character designs, the overall look. It's just, very nice. And the sound design is excellent too. Really upbeat, bubbly music that matches the look and the tone set in this game. So an all around really good game, and it's also a very affordable game. If you go looking on eBay, loose carts are $10 or less, and boxed copies are about 20 bucks. So no matter what, it's not an expensive game. So if you're collecting for Super Famicom, or even if you're not collecting, you just want something, fun to play, this is one that I would definitely keep an eye on. Really good game and very affordable. Cosmo Gang, the video, is awesome. Cosmo Gang, the video, very good, very fun game. Highly recommend picking up and playing this one. Next up, really awesome game and a really awesome series of games. This is The Great Battle 2. And this is an awesome game and an awesome series of games, and it's perfect for anyone who's a big fan of Gundam or Ultraman, Kamen Rider, because this is a game where you play as little chibi versions of those characters. All those various Bandai properties get shrunk down into this beat 'em up, which is awesome. And all of the bad guys are characters from those series, so you go around beating up various bad guys from Gundam, Ultraman, Kamen Rider. So it's very cool for anyone who is a fan of those series, and as a beat 'em up, it's pretty fun. Little chibi characters going around punching and kicking the crap out of each other. Some cool super attacks to pull off, and it's 2 players, and you can swap back and forth between characters at will, which is excellent. Imagine if in like Final Fight, for example, you're playing as Cody and you're getting tired of playing as Cody, so you can hit the select button and swap over to Guy or Hager. That's what you can do in here. So you can swap back and forth between all the different characters on the fly. That's very cool. It also has some really good graphics, really good sound design, and again, it's just excellent for anyone who is a fan of those various Bandai properties. Not a terribly expensive game either. The sequels, as they continue to go up to 3 and 4 and 5, those games can get pretty damn expensive. This one, though, not so much. If you buy a loose cart, it's really cheap, maybe 10 bucks or less. I think the highest it'll go up to is 15 or 20. It's a different story for a complete copy. They can go for as much as 50 or 60 bucks, but if you just want a fun Super Famicom game to play, a cool little beat 'em up to waste an hour or two on, then this, The Great Battle 2, is perfect for that. I say go and get it right away. It's a lot of fun. The Great Battle 2, awesome game, very fun little beat 'em up. The whole series is just really cool. This is one I would highly recommend you get into if you're getting into collecting for the Super Famicom. Very great series. Next up, this is for the Disney lovers. If you like all the 16-bit Mickey Mouse games, this is Mickey's Tokyo Disneyland Adventure. And this is a rare instance of a Disney game that didn't get released outside of Japan. And it's too bad in this case because as far as Mickey Mouse games go, this one's pretty good. I'd say it's comparable to games like Castle of Illusion and Magical Quest. It's a straightforward, enjoyable 2D platformer. The gimmick here is that Mickey has a tank on his back that is half filled with water and half filled with helium, and you have an arsenal of balloons at your disposal. So you can fill them up with water and throw them at enemies as an attack, or you can fill them up and place them on the ground to allow you to jump higher and reach ledges that you can't with your regular jump. The helium allows you to float up in the air and then fly really fast back and forth and up and down. It's especially useful in the water because you move very slowly in water in this game, so the helium balloons allow you to zip back and forth a lot faster than you normally could. So having those two things available to you gives you a couple of different ways to approach obstacles in this game. The only thing I don't like about it is the enemies, or I guess the enemy placement and the obstacle placement. They always seem to come in from off screen, like really out of nowhere, so you take a lot of unnecessary damage. But other than that, this is a solid, fun 2D platformer. Also good graphics, good sound design, just an all-around good game from Tomy. And it's another one that's not terribly expensive. Again, loose carts on eBay are about $10 or so, which is really reasonable. Complete copies are more like $40, in that ballpark, between $40 and $50. But for $10, you can pick this up loose and enjoy it, and I think you would if you enjoyed the other Mickey games. This one's pretty solid. Mickey's Tokyo Disneyland Adventure, very fun game. Again, if you're a fan of the other 16-bit Mickey games, as I am, because I like Mickey Mania and Magical Quest and World of Illusion, all those, then you'll want to look into this one. A lot of fun, very cool game. Next up, really awesome game based on one of my favorite anime series of all time. This is Ranma 1/2 Chougi Ranbuhen. And if you enjoyed Ranma Hard Battle on the Super Nintendo, then you should enjoy this game as well, because it was intended to be released in the United States as Hard Battle 2 and was canceled for some reason, which again is too bad, because in my opinion this is a better game than Hard Battle. It definitely plays better, which isn't a stretch because Hard Battle didn't play all that well. And I'm not saying that this game plays as good as Street Fighter 2 or something like that, but as far as a 16-bit fighter goes that isn't Street Fighter 2 or Killer Instinct or something like that, this plays pretty good. But I think most importantly, it's just a good Ranma game. If you're a fan of this series, then you should find a lot to love here, because the graphics are pretty good. They're at least vibrant and colorful and do the designs of the anime justice. The sound design is good as well, the music is good, and there are a lot of little voice clips from the voice actors from the Japanese version of the anime. So more so that this is a Ranma game is the selling point, because as a fighter, again, it's pretty average. It's enjoyable, but it's nothing that'll knock your socks off. But as a Ranma 1/2 game, yeah, there's a lot here to enjoy. So if you're a fan of the series, I would recommend picking this one up, because it's another one that's not terribly expensive. A loose cart, about $10 to $15 probably on eBay. Complete copies between maybe $25 and $35. But if you're a fan of Ranma 1/2 and you like 2D fighters, and especially if you enjoyed Hard Battle, then this is a game I would recommend picking up. Ranma 1/2 Chougi Ranbuhen, very cool indeed. Go ahead and pick that up if you like your 16-bit fighters and you like your anime-based games. And last but not least, very awesome game, again in another very awesome series of traditionally tactical RPGs. But what we have here is Front Mission Gun Hazard. And this is the game that I would recommend to people who have taken an interest in the Front Mission series but have been turned off by the fact that it's a tactical RPG series. This one, a much more straightforward action RPG that I think is a lot easier to get into than your typical Front Mission game. Basically, you just move around the overworld map and choose the next area you're going to go to, and then you equip your mech with all kinds of weapon and armor power-ups, and then you go into the stage and blow up a bunch of stuff, very much like Cybernator. If you've played and enjoyed Cybernator, then you'll find the gameplay here to be very recognizable and very enjoyable. Plenty of stuff to blow up, lots of really cool boss battles, so very fun in the gameplay department, and pretty deep as well. Definitely a deeper game than Cybernator, for example. Also, it's Square from the mid-90s, so you know the graphics are going to be great, and they definitely are. This is a beautiful game to look at. The sound design, absolutely excellent. All of the sound effects, the soundtrack itself, really great. So just an all-around, very well-made game from Square. Great gameplay, great graphics, awesome sound design, all-around excellent game. And again, this is another one that's very affordable. Loose carts, about $10 or so. Complete copies, between 20 and 30 bucks. So no matter what, not a terribly expensive game. If you are collecting for the Super Famicom, I would put this game at the top of my wish list. It is very good and very worth 10 bucks. Front Mission Gun Hazard, absolutely amazing game. Highly recommended if you're into import collecting for the Super Famicom. You can't go wrong with that one. And that's it. 5 more import recommendations for the Super Famicom. Hey, down in the comments, do you have any favorite Super Famicom games, or are there some that you have your eye on? I'd like to know. And until next time, thank you for watching, everybody. Take care. Goodbye.